In the beginning of the drama, we see our male lead Dongju, who is the president of a big company. After 3 years abroad, he has finally returned to China. 3 years ago, he had a one-night stand with a mysterious girl, and people still gossip about that rumor. Now we see our female lead Nian, who wakes up when the doorbell rings. Seeing so many guards at her door, she gets shocked and asks, "Who are you people?" And then, our hero enters. His first question was, "Where is my child? I know you were that girl from that night, so tell me everything honestly." Nian gets confused and says, "What child? What night? I don't even know you. Who are you?" Dongju gets angry and says, "How dare you pretend not to recognize me?" He orders his men to bring her with him. He takes her far away, to a house in the middle of the mountain. There, he uses a lie detector machine and asks, "Now tell me, where is my child? You were pregnant, right?" She says, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." The butler Frank also asks her many questions about that night, but she remembers nothing. He then tells Dongju, "It seems the lady is telling the truth. If she were lying, we would have known from the lie detector." Dongju even calls a psychiatrist, who also questions her, but still, Nian has no memory. She gets irritated and says, "That psycho. Why is he behind me? I already said I don't know him." The butler explains, "Actually, our boss has paranoid personality disorder. Once he decides something, he never changes his mind. He believes you were that girl, and he never forgets anything." Maybe he's right. That night, Dongju again questions her. She gets angry and says, "You psycho. Even if I say something, you won't believe me anyway." Dongju replies, "Fine, if you want freedom, you'll get it. Tomorrow, you'll be left in the forest. After that, go wherever you want. No food, no water." She agrees, thinking she'll finally escape. But in the forest, she gets lost. She wanders around with no food or water and eventually faints. Dongju finds her and brings her back home. At night, he again points a pistol at her, saying, "Now tell me, do we really have a child? Where have you hidden him?" Nian says, "Keep asking, psycho. I'm not saying anything." Next day, Dongju watches her in her room. She tries to hide and tells him many things, saying, "I remember that night. I was with my friend Tangji at that party. You're accusing me of giving you drugs, but I didn't. If I find Tangji, she'll prove I didn't drug anyone or spend the night with you." Dongju says, "Fine. If you want freedom, prove your innocence and you'll be free." Hearing this, Nian gets happy. In the next scene, we see Nian in the city, shopping in a mall. There she meets her crush Chin. They already knew each other, but now Chin treats her coldly. He says, "I'm getting married soon, to your sister." Nian feels heartbroken. Just then, she accidentally drops an antique item, which was very expensive. The shop staff tells her she must pay for it. Chin says, "Should I help you? After all, you'll soon be my sister-in-law." She replies, "No, I can handle it myself." She immediately calls the butler Frank for help. After she refuses Chen's help, he leaves. And right then, our hero Dongju arrives with the butler. He stares at the staff and says, "Did you just try to bully my girlfriend? Only I have the right to bully her, not anyone else." Nian says, "It's not what you think." And now, the payment for the damage. All the payment was done by our hero himself. Next, he went to her house and said, "Now you'll have to sign a contract with me. After all, you caused a big loss in that shop, and the payment amount was huge." She refused to sign and said, "If you want to sue me and prove that I took your money, then go ahead." He had come fully prepared this time. Seeing so many lawyers with him, she immediately said, Okay, I'm ready to sign your contract." While signing, he noticed that she was a cartoonist, and there were many of her drawings lying around. He said, "How can you do such a boring job?" She replied, "It might be boring for you, but for me, it's everything. You won't understand because you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth." He smiled and said, "Fine, if you've struggled so much in life, you don't need to suffer anymore. Just become my girlfriend." He had started to get close to her now. Next, he took her to his city house, not the one in the forest. That night, while having dinner, he kept saying, "Don't eat this. It's not good. Don't eat that either." She got annoyed and made noodles for herself. He took some from her bowl and said, "Let me try." He actually loved it. Seeing that, Nian felt happy because no one had ever praised her cooking this much before. At night, her mom called and said, "Your sister's wedding is coming soon, so please come." She said, "Okay, I'll try." Dongju overheard everything. Actually, he was also invited to the same wedding since he was the president of a big company, so he decided to go too. The next day, seeing Nian wearing a simple dress, he said, "No way. You're not wearing that to the wedding." He immediately told butler Fong, "Prepare a beautiful dress for her." In the next scene, Nian looked really pretty in that dress. Finally, she reached Huan's place. Seeing her, Huan started mocking her. Long ago, Nian liked Chin, and Chin liked her too, but after he lost his memory, he started liking Juan instead. Now they had decided to get married. Juan warned Nian, from now on, stay away from Chen. Don't even think about going near him. I'm going to be the mother of his child. Hearing this, Nian got emotional and walked away, thinking, what's the point of talking to him now? At the wedding, our hero Dong-ju made his grand entry. Reporters surrounded him, but his eyes were only on Nian. She got nervous and tried to hide, thinking, oh no, what will he ask me again? She randomly entered a room where Chin was getting ready. When someone came to check, Chin said, no, there's no girl here, and quickly locked the door. Nian noticed that Chin looked weak and sick. She said, you should rest if you're not feeling well. He replied, don't worry, I'm fine. After that, she left. Next, Dong-ju came to wish the couple. After that, he met Nian. There he learned that she once liked Chin. She told him, I'm the adopted daughter of the Shi family. They always cared only for Juan and never respected me. She looked sad while saying this. Dong-ju said, you don't need to worry about your future anymore. From now on, I'll take full care of you. Hearing that, Nian smiled softly. At night, while she was sleeping, Butler Fong suddenly came running and said, Miss Nian is missing. Everyone is searching for her. Dong-ju also stayed there to help. He thought, maybe she doesn't like me at all. Finally, Chin found her unconscious. When she woke up, everyone else also arrived there. Juan's dad got angry at Nian, saying, you are the reason behind all this. You want to cancel this wedding, don't you? After everyone left, Nian sat alone, upset. Butler Fong came and said, boss went back to the company, but he told me to stay here and take care of you. Nian said sadly, everyone always thinks I came between Chin and Juan, but it's not true. Then she started telling the whole story. My adoptive father worked as a driver for Chen's family. Back then, Chin was blind. No one cared about him. Everyone ignored him. One day, I saw him, and we became friends. I even brought him home sometimes. Juan and Mom didn't like it, but I took good care of him. We slowly started liking each other. Then one day, Chen's family realized they should take care of him again. Their elder son refused to handle the company, so they had no choice but to bring Chen back. They did his eye surgery, and he got his sight back, but he lost all his memory. After that, she says that the moment he saw Juan, he started liking her. Now both of them are together, and people think that I'm the third person between them, trying to interfere. But that's not true. I've even stopped meeting him now. After sharing all this, she gets a little emotional. Butler Fong gently says, it's okay, don't worry. Then he asks her to come home with him, reminding her that the boss had specially asked her to cook dinner because he loves the food she makes. She cooks dinner for him, and he eats it happily, enjoying every bite. Watching him eat so lovingly, she can't help but smile. Suddenly, she gets a message from her boss saying, you still haven't started working on the comic. Get moving. Hearing that, she starts drawing again with full focus, and she's really good at it. Being a cartoonist, she believes one day her comic will become successful, and she'll finally be rich. Later, while he's driving her somewhere, she tells him that she still hasn't found Tang Ji, even though she's searched everywhere. Can you help me? She asks. But then they end up arguing about the child again. Frustrated, he drops her off halfway and drives away. She calls her best friend for help, who arrives with her husband. Her friend leaves the two of them together for a moment, saying she'll park the car. But just then, our hero shows up and completely misunderstands the situation. He assumes Nian came there to meet that man, and out of anger, beats him up badly. When he realizes the truth, he feels embarrassed and guilty. Right after that, Nian unexpectedly runs into Chin, who has finally agreed to get treatment. Slowly, some of his lost memories start coming back, though he doesn't tell her yet. Soon after, she bumps into our hero again. He grabs her hand and says firmly, you are mine, and I don't ever want to see you with another man. Saying that, he starts to walk away, with Butler Fong following behind. The hero tells him, you don't need to follow me, just take care of Nian. Then we see an evil smile appear on his face. He's clearly planning something mischievous. Knowing that Nian is afraid of the dark, he purposely orders the lights in her house to be turned off. Scared, she calls Chen for help. Meanwhile, Dong still hasn't agreed to help her find Tang Ji, so she asks Chen instead. He tells her, okay, I'll get the information and let you know. Just as she's waiting, Dong suddenly shows up. When he tries to get close to her, she gets angry and says, I know it was you who turned the lights off. Every other house has power except ours. He smirks and says, tomorrow I have a party to attend. You're coming with me. She sighs and agrees, clearly out of obligation. The next day, Chen calls and tells her, I've got Tang Ji's complete information. Meet me at the amusement park. She goes there and learns that Tang Ji is now dating a rich businessman, a manipulative woman who chases money wherever she finds it. Jin doesn't tell her that his memories have already returned, or that he still loves her just as much as before. That night, the hero brings her a beautiful dress, insisting, "You're wearing this to the party with me." When she puts it on, she looks stunning. He can't take his eyes off her. To mark his claim, he puts a love band on her hand so everyone at the party thinks she's already committed and no one dares to approach her. She understands his little game but stays quiet. At the party, they dance together. Suddenly, Nyen spots Tang Ji there. Tang Ji comes over, mocking her. "Oh, so you're here as someone's mistress? Otherwise, how could someone like you even get into this party?" Hearing this, our hero, who's been watching everything, gets furious. As the president of Annie Group, he steps forward. Just as Tang Ji's boyfriends see this, he slaps Tang Ji in front of everyone, saying, "How dare you behave like this? Do you even know who she is?" Later, Nyen confronts the hero and asks, "Tell me honestly, what really happened that night at the party?" "I don't remember anything." He replies, "What can I say? You were working there as a waitress. I handed you a glass of wine, and after that, I don't remember what happened either." Just then, he grabs her hand and says with a hint of intensity, "So it really was you who gave me that wine that night." After that, he says, "We even got intimate that night. How can you not remember any of it?" Day by day, he was becoming more possessive of her. He wanted her to stay his girlfriend only, not letting anyone else even come near her. Soon, he confessed his feelings to her, saying he had fallen deeply in love. The next morning, she made breakfast for him herself, and of course, everything she made somehow became his favorite. Just as she was about to talk to him, her mother called, insisting, "You must come meet me today. I have something important to discuss." Our hero drops her off, but the moment her mother sees him, she gets furious. She throws a few documents in front of her and says, "Ever since your father saw you with Chin, he's decided you should cut ties with this family. From now on, you don't need to have any connection with us. And how could you do this to your sister, trying to get close to her husband?" Tears fill her eyes as she says, "That's not true, Mom." Right then, Dong-ju arrives and calmly tells her mother, "If I ever see you harassing her again, you'll regret it." Her mother freezes, realizing who he really is, the president of Annie Group. Her family's business works under his company. She's terrified now, thinking, what if he ruins us completely? To cheer her up, he takes her to a beautiful scenic place. "If your family doesn't want to be yours," he says, "then don't worry, I'm here for you." They start painting together and actually enjoy it a lot. But then we see Chin, who had secretly arranged this whole setup himself, thinking, "I know her family will cut her off today. I wanted to bring her here to make her feel better." But when he arrives and sees Nyen laughing and painting with Dong-ju, his heart breaks. "So, I really have no place left in her life now," he murmurs sadly. That night during dinner, Dong-ju shows her a diamond ring. She hesitates and says, "This is too expensive." He shrugs and tosses it aside, saying, "Fine, if you don't want it, forget it." But as soon as he leaves, she quietly picks up the ring. The next day, at a restaurant, she happens to see Hwan and Tang Ji talking about a past incident. From their conversation, Nyen realizes that Hwan might have been involved in what happened that night at the party. She rushes to Dong-ju and says, "I need your help. I have to find out what connection Hwan and Tang Ji really share." Dong-ju smiles, teasing, "Finally, you need me for something." He gives her a small device and explains, "If you connect this to Hwan's phone for a few seconds, we can hack it. You'll get access to all her calls and recording." Later, Nyen visits Hwan's house, pretending it's a casual visit. There, she also meets Chin. While she secretly connects the device to Hwan's phone, Chin notices everything, but he doesn't tell Hwan. He thinks if this helps Nyen, then it's okay. Back home, Nyen connects her laptop and successfully hacks Hwan's phone. Around the same time, Dong-ju tells her, "I'm going abroad to visit my parents. Take care of yourself." She smiles, happy to have a week of freedom. She starts listening to Hwan's recordings and discovers something shocking. Hwan isn't really pregnant with Chen's child. She's pretending, just to win his heart. Then, she overhears another call where Hwan plans to meet Tang Ji the next day at a restaurant. The next day, Nyen quietly follows them. The two women take precautions, making sure no one overhears their conversation. But Nyen notices Chin is also secretly there, keeping an eye on Hwan. Together, they manage to plant another recording device inside the room. They listen in as Tang Ji blackmails Hwan, saying, "If you don't give me the money, I'll expose what you did that night." But Tang Ji doesn't reveal what exactly happened, leaving both Nyen and Chin confused. Chin later tells Nyen, "I know now that Hwan isn't carrying my child. She lied just to marry me, but I'll never forgive her for that." Just then, Dongju calls Nyen and asks, "Where have you been? You didn't even call me. Did you miss me or not?" She nervously replies, yes, I was just about to call you, and then you called first." After that, she goes back to listening to her sister's recordings. That's when she learns that things between Hwan and Chin have completely fallen apart. Hwan is even thinking about divorce. Shocked, Nyen immediately calls Chin and asks to meet. She already knows now his memories have returned, and he hasn't forgotten what she once meant to him. And then, they decided to meet. When they did, Chin asked her, "Will you become part of my family?" He even claimed his right to her, but she gave no clear answer. Her mind was full of Dongju. He put a file in front of her and said, "I've learned that Tangji spent that night with Dongju and they have a baby." Hearing this, she was surprised. The next moment, she went to meet Tangji. Tangji became very emotional and said she was too afraid of Dongju to tell the truth, that the girl from that night was actually her, not Nyen. She even showed her son as proof. This is proof of that night. Nyen began to believe she might be telling the truth. When our hero returned from meeting his parents, she introduced him to Tangji as the girl from that night, and the boy as his. On hearing this, he became furious. Was she really lying to get rid of him? He decided to do a DNA test. At that moment, Tangji cried, "I wasn't lying. This baby is not Dongju. Please do something, stop him, or he'll find out." She panicked. "If I lied, Dongju will ruin us. He might even put me in jail. How will I take care of my son?" She added, "I only did this because Chen told me to. He asked me to act." She called Chen. He said, "I can't talk on the phone now. Come meet me and I'll tell you." The DNA report finally proved the truth. The baby was not Dongju. Tangji had been lying. She stormed to Chen, furious. "Why did you ask Tangji to say all those things?" Chen said, "I admit Dongju always harassed you. I had an idea. If he left you alone, you might come into my life. Don't you want that?" At that moment, Dongju arrived. Seeing them together, he attacked Chen and began beating him. She begged him to stop and said, "Okay, I'll go back with you. Don't hurt Chen." Before leaving, they decided to take Chen to the hospital. His condition was bad. She knew how cruel Dongju could be. She didn't know what he might have done to Tangji and the child. She threw the ring he had given her on the ground and shouted, "I don't need any of your things." Then she fainted. Lying there, he thought, "I wish you loved me the way you care Chen now." Next scene, Butler Fong explained everything. The boss had not harmed Tangji or the child. They had admitted Chen to the hospital. When she came to visit him, Hwan showed up. Seeing the two of them together, Hwan left. They called reporters and announced that both Hwan and Chen were getting divorced. Hwan was furious. "How could you do this to me?" Next, Nyen's mother called her in and scolded her. "How could you do this to your sister? Because of you, she's getting divorced. You're heartless." She even drugged Nyen's coffee so Nyen would be brought home and convinced not to interfere in Chen's life. Luckily, Dongju's guards were nearby and took Nyen home. She felt extremely hot and dizzy. Back at home, Dongju clung to her and said, "If you'll regret this later, that's fine, I don't care." They became intimate. The next morning, she woke up to a shock. The police had arrested her mother and sister for giving her the drink. She learned Chen had been discharged from the hospital and had come to see her, but she made it clear he was just family now, nothing like before. Hwan's family gave interviews to reporters, saying Chen and Hwan had loved each other for a long time. Nyen's mother had drugged her to keep her away from Chen. People began to assume Nyen was the problem, that she was the third person trying to break the couple. The public turned on her. An aunt even criticized her harshly. Everyone started throwing accusations. When our hero saw the news, he rushed to help, but it was too late. He tried to talk to her, but she didn't respond. He carried her home. She was still in shock, deaf to what he said. Doctors were called, and a treatment team arrived. They set one condition: bring the person Nyen trusts most. He wondered if that person might be him. He stayed with her through the night and fell asleep caring for her. The next day, when Nyen opened her eyes, she felt relieved to see him beside her. He fed her by hand and wanted to kiss her to watch her reaction, but she gave no response. He said, "So you don't trust me? You won't tell me anything?" Then he took her to Chen's house and said, "Fine, you can stay here. Maybe you'll start talking again." But as soon as he left, she saw Chen standing there and realized the only person she truly trusted was him, not Chen. The doctors said, "We'll have to hypnotize her, and the person she trusts most must assist us during the process." She agreed to go through with it. Finally, the session began, and in that tough moment, Dongju came to help her. She started feeling calmer, and soon, she began to speak again. But she told Butler Fong, "Don't tell Dongju about this yet. I want to surprise him." A little later, she got a call from Chen. He said, "You can come live with me now. You wanted to get rid of him anyway." She replied, "No, I've decided I only want to stay with Dongju." Dongju overheard all of this, and he was overjoyed. That meant she was finally fully healed, and she trusted only him now. In his happiness, he hugged her tightly. She even accepted and said, "From now on, I'm your girlfriend." Dongju's joy knew no limit. The very next day, he announced their relationship publicly. He didn't care what anyone said anymore. Later, while she was asleep, a message from Chen popped up on her phone. He wrote, "I'm leaving for France. If you want to see me one last time, come to the airport." But Dongju deleted the message before she could read it. Then, he took her to a beautiful place, saying, "I arranged all this just for you." They spent a lovely time together. The next day, they returned home happily. But then she saw on the news that the plane to France had crashed. She was shocked and upset because she knew Chen was supposed to be on that flight. She worried, what if he died in that crash? The following day, Dongju's mom arrived. She was a very strict woman, and the moment Dongju saw her, he looked nervous. As soon as she found out her son was in a relationship, she came to meet his girlfriend. Dongju tried to calm Nian, saying, "Don't worry, no matter what mom says, I'll always stand by you." But his mom immediately started criticizing her. "You have no background, no status. How did you even enter my son's life?" She even showed a list of girls and said, "Pick one of these. Tell me who I should choose for my son." Nian replied, "I don't need to choose anyone. Your son loves me. That's enough for me." That made his mom even angrier. She couldn't believe her son had fallen so deeply in love with this girl. After meeting his mom, Nian was upset. She wondered, does she really want me as her daughter-in-law? To cheer her up, Dongju took her out again. He managed to lift her mood, and this time, she even kissed him back. The next day, Dongju's mom asked Nian to take some study lessons, saying, "If you want to be part of this family, you need to learn proper manners." While studying, Nian fainted out of exhaustion. Dongju came to tease her, saying, "What kind of girl are you?" Then, he took her out again. His mom tried to stop him, saying, "Dongju, listen to me." But he didn't. This made his mom furious. How can my son ignore me because of her? He wanted Nian to come work with him at his company, but she refused, saying, "How can I show up at your office in this condition?" He left, and she said, "I'll go home after some time." She dozed off there for a while. When she woke up, she saw a man standing nearby, and she thought, could it be Chen? At the company, he was really tense, thinking, "I don't even know if Nian went home or not. I should go and check." Meanwhile, that same stranger had already kidnapped Nian. By the time he reached the place to look for her, he only found her phone. He got really worried, thinking where she might have gone. When Nian opened her eyes, she saw Juan standing right in front of her, and she was furious. She shouted, "Because of you, my whole family got destroyed. Even Chin went away from me because of you." But honestly, Juan didn't have that much power to arrange so many men and get her kidnapped. Behind all of this was Dongju's mom. She knew Juan hated her sister deeply, so she used that hate to make her do this. They even called a bunch of men, and the scene cuts right there. Next, we see Nian finally reunited with Dongju. He takes good care of her, and she assures him, "Those men didn't do anything to me, so please don't misunderstand." He believes her and says, "Yeah, okay, I trust you." Then, in a flashback, it's shown that when he found out his mom was behind Nian's kidnapping, he was furious, but his anger didn't affect her at all. When his mom saw Nian again, she said, "I've already planted a seed of doubt in your future husband's heart. Let's see how he reacts." And with that satisfaction, she left. Thinking about all this, Nian did get upset for a while, but seeing how much Dongju cared for her, she realized he really did love her, and maybe no doubt would ever grow in his heart. Later, Nian found out she was pregnant. She was overjoyed. That night, she told Dongju the good news, but his reaction was cold. He thought, what if this happened that day? Maybe this isn't my child. He said, "We don't need this baby. I'll take care of you, but let's end this." She refused and said, "If you really doubt it, let's just do a DNA test." He agreed, but they already had a big fight. That night, he came home drunk and said, "Whether this baby is mine or not, I don't care. I just want to be with you and raise this child together." Even then, Nian felt he couldn't control his emotions. She said gently, "Maybe you should get treatment for your paranoid personality disorder. Once you recover, we can raise our baby happily." After she insisted, he finally agreed. Then entered Dr. Muna, seeing her shocked Nian, because she was one of the girls from the list Dongju's mom had shown her before. Nian thought, maybe she's here to take him away from me. Dongju, however, behaved coldly with her and gave more attention to Nian. So Nian started believing again, he really loves me. He'll never look at another girl. Muna said, "If I'm treating Dongju, I'll have to stay here to observe him closely." He didn't refuse, but deep down, Moona planned to separate them and win his heart herself. Dongju was becoming more romantic every day. Once, when he was having a sweet moment with his girlfriend, Moona entered and ruined it on purpose. She pretended to be Nyen's friend, but Dongju stopped her, saying, "You don't need to get too close to her." Nyen's comic had become really famous, and her fan following had grown a lot. She went to a fan event and stayed in contact with Dongju. On her way back, she suddenly fainted near the lift. When she opened her eyes, Dongju was sitting beside her. He said, "From now on, I'll stay with you 24 hours. I don't even trust the guards to take care of you." Then Moona entered to check on Nyen, trying to get close again. But Dongju didn't like it at all and told her to leave. She replied, "Fine, I'll go. But I have emotions too, just like other girls. No need to hate me so much." Later that night, Nyen started thinking, was it really right to let Moona treat Dongju? After being discharged from the hospital, she went to see him, and through the window, she saw Moona. She saw a man standing with someone very close to her and thought maybe he was with another girl. She got angry, thinking he was cheating on her, and started hitting the guy, shouting, "How could you betray me?" and all that. But a moment later, she realized the man she had beaten up wasn't Dongju at all. Our hero was watching everything from a distance, smiling quietly, thinking, so she was jealous? That same day, he proposed to her for marriage. Seeing that, she looked really happy, and of course, her answer was yes. They both decided they'd stay happy together forever and raise their baby with love. After that, she went straight to Moona and said, "Now stay out of my life. I know you were only pretending to be my friend. You just wanted to separate me and Dongju." Moona smirked and said, "You guessed right. I've liked Dongju for a long time. And trust me, I'll definitely take him away from you." That night, Nyen laughed to herself, thinking, wow, soon it'll be me and Dongju getting married, building our family. Our hero saw her smiling like that and felt happy too. But the next morning, Moona sent him something that completely broke him down. Whatever she sent made him so upset that he went to meet her. She showed him some pictures and said, "If you really want Nyen's life to stay peaceful, then it's better you leave her. Break up with her." After hearing this, our hero agreed and said, "If it's about her safety, then I'll do whatever it takes, even if it means breaking up." What exactly they were talking about, we'll find out later. For now, the scene cuts there. After that, he started ignoring Nyen completely. She was deeply hurt and confused, wondering what suddenly happened to Dongju. Later, even Moona told her, "It's better if you leave him as soon as possible." But Nyen refused to break up. When she went to the office to see him, she saw Dongju and Moona close together. That broke her completely. That night, she cried herself to sleep. Our hero came quietly to see her, but in his mind, he kept remembering Moona's words, that it's best to give up on Nyen before things get worse. He thought, if she won't listen with love, I'll have to take another way. The next day, he brought an agreement paper and said, "Sign this. It's our breakup contract." But she refused, saying, "How can I just leave you like this?" Later, she saw him and Moona sitting very close in the washroom area. After seeing that, she finally signed the contract and said goodbye. Then, the DNA reports arrived, and it showed the baby in Nyen's womb was truly his. Dongju was shattered and regretted everything. He thought, how could I let her go like that? Meanwhile, Nyen went back to her old house. When Dongju's mom found out Nyen was pregnant with his child, she was actually very happy. She said, "Finally, our Dongju family is getting an heir." But behind that smile, her evil mind was already planning something new. We'll find out what later. She had already installed hidden cameras in Nyen's house to keep an eye on her. One day, while working, Nyen suddenly fainted and fell to the floor. Dongju rushed to the hospital to see her and got her admitted. He told the doctor, "Tell her that she called the hospital herself. Don't mention my help." So the doctor said exactly that. Dongju just watched her quietly from a distance and still didn't go talk to her. At home, he told Butler Fong, "I've decided I can't stay away from Nyen anymore. Tomorrow, I'll bring her back home myself." He missed her deeply. The next morning, he got ready and rushed to the hospital, but Nyen was gone. He yelled at his guards, "How could you not notice who took her?" Turns out, it was Dongju's mom who kidnapped Nyen again. She said coldly, "We only want Dongju's baby. After that, you'll be free to go wherever you want. You'll get every facility here, so don't worry." Nyen was heartbroken. She thought, first I suffered with her psycho son, and now his mom has kidnapped me too. All her suspicion went toward Moona. They even used a lie detector on Moona, asking, did you have anything to do with Nyen's kidnapping? Muna said, no, I don't know anything. He says he didn't do anything wrong, but soon he becomes angry and says, fine, go then. He wonders where she could have gone and who might be against her. The poor guy becomes very emotional. He had planned to bring her back home, but once again, she disappears. Suddenly, he thinks, what if mom has kidnapped her? Meanwhile, his mother is living a very comfortable life. Guards are always around her, and they take good care of everything. He rushes straight to his mom and asks, tell me the truth. Did you get Nyen kidnapped? Where is she? But his mother doesn't plan to tell him anything. He follows her everywhere, begging for answers, but she refuses to change her plan. She already knows her son's intense nature. If he ever finds out about his child, he might completely lose control. So, before he reaches Nyen, she decides to get hold of Nyen's baby herself. He checks all the family properties and every possible place, but still finds no clue where Nyen is. One day, a doctor who comes to check on Nyen gives her a photo. In it, there's a boy who looks exactly like her. She is shocked and wonders who that boy could be. Before they can talk more, a nurse enters the room. That same day, Dongju's father came to meet him, and for no reason, he hit him angrily, saying, how can you love an orphan girl? And after being in a relationship with her, how can you plan to be a father? Poor Dongju becomes deeply upset. Dongju's mother feels worried seeing his condition. He tells her, you love me so much, right? Then please tell me, where is Nyen hiding? If you don't, I'll do something to myself. She gets scared and says, please don't talk like that. She had already lost one son before, and she couldn't bear to lose another. So she says, all right, if you announce your marriage with Muna, I'll tell you where Nyen is. He is helpless and agrees to do as she says. Later, the doctor comes again and says, you should leave this place. Come with me. But Nyen refuses. She doesn't trust anyone anymore. Soon, we find out that this doctor was actually sent by Chen. Yes, the same Chen who everyone thought had died in that plane crash. He was alive and now had decided to rescue Nyen from their hands. She had to bear a lot of pain. And then Muna showed up, saying, you know Dongju and I are getting married. What are you doing here? Nyen replied, look, there's no need to misunderstand. I didn't come here to seduce anyone. I was just being chased. After saying that, she left. Next, when she returned from work, she saw Dongju waiting there. He said, because of you I got hurt, and you didn't even come to the hospital to see me. He grabbed her immediately. Nyen wanted to know, you were the one who broke up with me. Why do you want to come back into my life now? Dongju couldn't stand her coldness anymore. He showed her a photo and said, when my brother went to study in France, he may have met your brother there. They started a relationship, and then my brother died. I only learned this recently, and it was through Muna. He added, if dad ever finds out my brother was dating your brother when he died, your family could be in danger. Maybe they would even try to kill you. That's why I decided to leave you, to protect you from any harm. I stayed with Muna on purpose so you would break up with me, but now I regret it. Can you come back to me? I will protect you no matter what. Nyen refused and said, if Muna is entering my life, let her come. Then she walked away. After she left, Dongju fainted. The next day we see Dongju in the hospital. Through the news he hears that the project he's working on is being dedicated to his ex-girlfriend's name. Reporters ask, is there still something between you and Dongju? She replies, no, nothing like that. Her friends then tell everyone that Nyen already has someone else in her life, so stop bothering her. Nyen also saw the news and thought maybe he liked her again. In front of reporters, he said what he said. That night Muna came to give him a wedding card, asking him to come to her wedding. The next day, when Nyen woke up, she found herself kidnapped and tied up again. She wondered, who brought me here this time? Then Dongju arrived, saying, I only want to marry you. So let's make a deal. If you come into my life, I will give you every happiness. Marry me instead of Muna. She agreed. Muna got ready as the groom arrived, waiting, but then Nyen and Dongju appeared. Everyone was shocked. Muna's family took her away. Dongju didn't care about anything. He said, if my family wants to break ties with me, let them. I will marry the one I love. Finally, they became a married couple. After the honeymoon, they returned to their country, very happy. Nyen's mom was glad that her daughter finally found a good life partner. We also see Huan, the man who had treated her badly in the past, apologizing now. But Nyen had become stubborn and wouldn't forgive him. She said, what good did you ever do me? Meanwhile, Dongju's condition kept getting worse. He couldn't control his emotions and became extremely possessive about Nyen. If anyone even touched her by mistake, he would react violently. Her birthday was coming soon. Nyen planned a surprise with butler Fong. The painting she wanted to give Dongju had already been noticed by someone else, and she got upset, saying, I wanted to surprise you. He replied, it's okay. Give it to me on my birthday, and I'll react like I'm seeing it for the first time. At the same time, Rui received an invitation to Dongju's birthday. Rui planned a big surprise that they would remember forever. The birthday day arrived and Dongju insisted on inviting his mother too. Nian asked, "Where have you kept my son? I want to meet him." But her mother ignored Nian and walked away. Seeing Muna there, Dongju lost his temper. He said, "I told you not to show that cursed face to me again." Muna replied, "Your mom brought me. I didn't come on purpose." Nian's mom started arguing with Nian's mother for no reason. Butler Fong managed to calm things down and sent them away. Nian was shocked to learn how her mother had behaved that day. Nian's mom gets upset and tells her to leave right away, saying, "I didn't even want you to come here." Nian kept insisting that we shouldn't ignore family, so that's the only reason I invited you. But look at your attitude toward her. When he sees Nian's injured foot, he's shocked and asks what happened. Nian brushes it off with an excuse. He applies medicine to her wound himself. A little later, his mom comes crying to them saying, "Nian, someone has kidnapped your dad." Everyone panics and rushes home to ask Chin if he knows anything. Chin actually was behind the kidnapping, but he pretends to be clueless, acting all innocent. They start planning how to find the dad at any cost. The next day, another shocking piece of news surfaces. A story breaks about Dongju's brother and Nian's brother being in a relationship. Dongju is horrified, worrying that if his dad finds out, he'll go after Nian's family. On top of that, problems start arising in his company too. He tells Nian, "Take care of yourself, I'll be back soon," and heads to the company to handle things. But it turns out that the company issue was all caused by Chan and Muna working together. This time, the headlines blow up, calling Dongju a psycho. Everyone in the company starts panicking. One by one, employees resign, saying they can't work under a psycho. Dongju, stressed and shaken, leaves the building and spots a car nearby. Without thinking, he gets inside. Meanwhile, Butler Fong comes and tells Nian, "We don't know where Dongju went. We've been trying to contact him, but there's no trace." After some time, the guards come to Nian with heartbreaking news. They found her father's dead body. She's devastated. When she rushes home to see her mom, Chin tells her, "Your mom killed herself after hearing about your dad's death. I tried to stop her, but she didn't listen." Nian now realizes that Chen is probably behind everything. Furious, she decides not to spare him. She grabs the pistol Dongju once gave her for protection. Then she goes to Huan to confirm if Chen is really behind it. Huan admits, yes, it was all his plan. After killing everyone involved, Chen feels no guilt. He even tortures Nian, throwing away the rings Dongju gave her. He offers her food, but she refuses. Later, Butler Fong arrives with his men and rescues her. For years later, Nian is managing the company with Butler Fong's help. They've become like siblings. She often travels abroad to visit her son, Haoyu, now around 4 years old, a sweet, adorable boy. Her mother-in-law talks to her about him. It's been years, and there's still no sign of Dongju. We should announce in the news that he's dead. But Nian insists, "No, I'm sure Dongju is still alive. He'll come back to us one day." She decides to take her son back to China. Even little Haoyu says, "I want to go with mommy." Her mother-in-law agrees, and they both leave happily. Back in China, Nian opens her own art gallery. A mysterious man named Mr. Yoon regularly buys her paintings and supports her, but he's never shown his face. Then one day, out of nowhere, Dongju returns. The media goes wild, he's alive. She tells her son, "Go home with Uncle Fong. I'll come soon after meeting your dad." At the company, she waits, but learns he's already gone home. Soon the guards come to pick her up, and when she gets home, Dongju immediately hugs her tight, saying, "I waited so long for you." She asks, "Where were you all these 4 years?" But he doesn't answer. The next day, he visits her art gallery and says, "Why are you working in such a small shop? You should be running a big business. Remember, you're the wife of the Any Group's president." Nian is shocked. She'd been planning to finally divorce him, but now she feels he's completely changed. "You used to never care about background or status. What happened to you? He used to be so possessive about me, wouldn't even let anyone touch me. And now look at him, he stays distant, even from his own son, acting like he has no time for his family. So I told him, fine, if that's what you want, then I don't need to live with you either." She storms off angrily. After that, she decides to file for divorce and wants full custody of her son. Mr. Yoon sends some of his men to help her and also sends her a gift. She's happy but curious too. Who is this mysterious Mr. Yoon? She says to herself, "I really want to meet him one day." That same day, Haoyu's dad, Dongju, calls him over to spend some time together. Nian agrees. thinking it's good for them to bond. The two of them share dinner, and Dongju takes good care of Hao-yu. During dinner, Hao-yu innocently asks, "Dad, are you really going to divorce Mom?" Dongju replies, "Of course not. I just said that in anger. How could I ever leave Nyen?" Later, while organizing his study, Nyen finds some old documents and realizes that 4 years ago, Dongju had actually gone to Muna for treatment. He had been struggling with emotional instability and got help to control it. Seeing this, she gets emotional and hugs him tightly. She now understands how much he suffered and endured. After that, she knows she could never truly leave him. Next, Mr. Yoon comes to meet her at the art gallery. Who he really is will be revealed at the end. Soon, they get terrible news. Their son Hao-yu has been kidnapped. The kidnapper even sends Dongju a video. Panicking, they rush to the location he mentioned. The man gives them a condition. You must spend one night together in this house. Tomorrow, your son will be returned to you. Dongju says, maybe his intentions aren't bad. It's just one night, we'll stay. It's revealed that the kidnapper is none other than Mr. Yoon himself. But he treats Hao-yu kindly and spends quality time with him. That night, Mr. Yoon even cooks dinner for Nyen and Dongju himself. Their first meal together after years, and they all enjoy it. The next day, when the couple reaches the address Mr. Yoon gave, they're finally reunited with Hao-yu. Both are overjoyed to see him. Then comes the twist. Mr. Yoon is actually Dongju's elder brother, the one everyone thought was dead. The news of his death had been false. He had been living quietly after discovering that Shurju, Nyen's brother, had died, someone he deeply missed. Now, Mr. Yoon sees it as his duty to look after Nyen and his younger brother's family from the shadows. He doesn't reveal his identity to anyone. He just watches over them, protecting them silently. Seeing Nyen, Dongju, and Hao-yu living happily together fills him with peace. And with that, the story ends, their family finally complete.